Enter Kling 2.6.
Come closer. I have a secret to tell you.
Welcome back to Higgsfield. I'm Adil, and today we're breaking down Kling 2.6, how it compares to other giants in the space, and the biggest question everyone is asking, is it actually better than Veo 3.1? But let's be real, Veo and Sora are quite expensive. Building a full project with multiple iterations can drain your credits quite fast. We needed a heavy hitter that delivers the same output without breaking the bank. In this video, we will compare Kling 2.6 to the current giants in GenAI and see how it handles the following: physics, camera controls, human emotions, and dialogue. Let's get started with camera controls. Here, we wanted an FPV drone shot descending a waterfall at extra high speed. We've prepared the prompts with the help of Gemini. All the prompts, as well as the keyframes, will be linked in the description. Kling really nailed the movement here. It feels intentional, slowing into turns and stabilizing on the descents. There was no morphing, the lighting was consistent, and we even got a subtle lens flare at the end. However, it added human speech again, even though we didn't ask for it. Veo's motion wasn't quite as dynamic, and it accidentally put the drone inside the frame. But the image quality itself was actually pretty good. One handled the camera movement better, but struggled to generate the new environments as the drone flew down. Sora looked a bit glitchy and noisy. It understood the camera move we wanted, but it just wasn't as smooth as we'd hoped. Objectively, Kling gave us the best result here. For this next scene, we aimed for a classic crane shot, going up while tilting down to reveal the city. The physics are really on point here. The cape and hair react naturally to the wind, and the lighting on his face syncs perfectly with the movement. Plus, the camera work is exactly what we asked for. Veo didn't quite nail the specific camera move, but the shot still looks great and has its own vibe to it. One had a consistency issue, where the frame started getting brighter as the camera went up. Honestly though, all the outputs here look pretty solid, so we'll call this one a tie. For the last test, we wanted to push these models to their limit. We asked for an extreme close-up of a woman hanging from a car, which is also hanging off a cliff edge. The shot needed to slowly zoom out and rise up to reveal the massive void below. Veo had an interesting interpretation of the prompt and just decided that the car should be straight up falling at the end. Juan went a different route. It actually tied the car to the cliff with some kind of rope. The pacing here is great. Kling really understood the stakes. Both the car and the woman look like they're barely hanging on. The camera motion and the sound design feel supernatural and realistic. Overall, it's cool to see how they all interpreted car on the edge of a cliff differently. We got unique, interesting scenes from everyone, but only one of them followed the prompt to a T. The winner is Kling. When it comes to camera control, Kling 2.6 is hands down the winner. It actually listens to the prompt, nails the complex movements, and keeps the geometry locked in. The others just aren't there yet. Veo gets confused, putting the drone inside the shot, and Juan struggles with consistency. Sora actually understood the camera moves pretty well, but the footage was way too noisy and glitchy to use. So if you want intentional cinematic camera moves, Kling is your guy. Next up, we have real-life physics. We prompted for a slow-motion shadowboxing with natural lighting and a handheld camera with slow zoom-in. Oh, and it's important to add the keywords for things like camera movement and lighting to get more control on the model's output. As you can see, the lighting in Veo is solid and the camera work is there. But the motion, it feels stiff, it's robotic, it just lacks that human flow. As for Juan, we've got artifacts, the background is warping, as well as the gloves, plus the camera move isn't quite what we asked for. Check out the body mechanics with Kling. The shoulders turn naturally, the hair flows correctly, and the shadows line up perfectly with the window light. Best part, zero morphing. The background stays locked, the gloves didn't glitch out, and the movement feels like a real athlete. Hands down, Kling takes the crown on this one. Now, let's try a more difficult test. We're starting with a keyframe and are looking for an arc around this character as he's releasing an arrow. Kling is rock solid in consistency. The face, outfit, and hands stay perfect. Plus, the camera movement is smooth the whole way through. It just missed the ending. We never got to see the arrow release. With Veo, you can see some morphing, and the arrow just completely broke apart. One also missed the mark here. The character turns the wrong way, and the lighting doesn't match our initial keyframe. Kling seems to be the winner for this kind of CGI animation. For this test, we wanted to play around with pure text-to-video, so we didn't use an initial keyframe. The goal was a macro cinematic shot to see how these models handle the physics of large objects compared to a tiny ant. Kling gave us pretty consistent geometry. The frame is stable, without random warping, and it really nails that Laowa probe lens look. One weird quirk though, Kling sometimes starts narrating the scene even if there are no humans in frame. It's an easy fix, you just have to prompt it not to speak, but definitely something to keep in mind. We threw Sora 2 into the mix for some extra contrast, since it usually excels at text-to-video, and it did not disappoint. The ant actually reacts to motion in the frame, and the camera folds it perfectly. Veo also did a great job tracking the ant, though it threw in some random artifacts like weird water splashes. One struggled the most here. Both the ant and the camera kept clipping through objects, and the whole thing looked pretty cartoony. Sora 2 definitely wins this battle, but you have to remember it's on the pricier side compared to the other models. So here's the verdict on physics. Veo and 1 are definitely capable, but they struggle to keep things stable in these tests. And Sora doesn't allow you to use keyframes with real people. If you're animating humans or need precise body mechanics, Kling is the clear winner. It's just smoother and stays consistent. And let's wrap it up by looking at how our models handle human emotions and dialogues. Here, we're looking for a monologue as the camera is slowly zooming in.
I was the best in my position, but that's a whole different story, my boy.
Veo absolutely crushed the shot. The speech and the emotions are a perfect match for this scene.
I was the best in my position, but that's a whole different story, my boy.
And here's Kling. Visually, it's on point. The details and skin texture look amazing, but the speech quality just isn't there. It nailed the intonation, but the voice itself still sounds pretty robotic. Verdict, Veo takes the win here. The voice and emotion just feel real. For this next one, we're looking for a soft whisper.
Come closer. I have a secret to tell you.
Visually, Kling is incredibly clean. Take a look. No morphing, and the fire illuminates her face perfectly. But audibly, it didn't quite land. You can barely hear the fire, and she isn't really whispering.
Come closer. I have a secret to tell you.
Veo, on the other hand, totally nailed the whisper and the background ambiance. But it went a little hard on the visuals and over-sharpened her face. Since we're specifically testing speech here, Veo takes the win. For the final test, let's see how they handle dialogue.
Guess my favorite album or a band?
Don't know about the album, but you're definitely a The Smiths lover.
Kling gave us a great camera push-in, stable faces, and a really solid image quality. But once again, the voice just sounds too synthetic.
Guess my favorite album or a band?
Don't know about the album, but you're definitely a The Smiths lover.
Veo was a bit rougher visually. It morphed the girl's face right at the start, but the voices sound way more natural. So here's the verdict on dialogue. Visually, Kling is easily the best. Cleaner details and rock-solid faces. But strictly on the audio front, Veo still holds the edge for sounding more human. Kling's voice generation is just a little stiff compared to his incredible video quality. It's worth mentioning that since Veo 3.1 is Google's second version of a native audio model, they improved significantly compared to the first iteration. So here's the quick recap. Veo 3.1 still leads for flagship text-to-video quality, but it's pricey and the outputs feel a bit compressed. It also produces only up to 8-second videos compared to other models with 10. 2.5 delivers decent results, but it's more niche and honestly overpriced now that Kling 2.6 is out. And the sound quality just isn't as good as the other ones. Kling 2.6 is the best value right now for image to video with native audio. It performs well in most use cases that we've gone through, and it's fast and affordable. And Sora 2 sits in its own category entirely. Premium text to video with built-in editing, but at a cost that puts it in a different league. Now I'm curious, what do you guys think about Kling 2.6? And would you prefer it over other models? And for those of you who watched till the end, drop in the comments which model is the best for you and why, and we'll pick 3 people who will receive a free Ultimate Plan. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.